Hey Arnold, if you didn't know, is my favorite cartoon of all time. It speaks to me on a level that no other show could back when it was on the air and even now. The jazzy undertones, character development, and the slice of life atmosphere created made way for the perfect combination it became for me. And now, well into our Fringemas journey, we take a look at another Christmas classic coming once again from Nickelodeon. And this was an episode that immediately stuck in my brain when coming up with this series in general. So welcome back, or hello for the first time, to the 25 Days of Fringemas, where every day from the 1st to the 25th of December, we take a look at nostalgic shows, holiday-themed episodes, and more in order to help me find that holiday spirit I've lost in my adult life over the past decade. So if you want to be a part of this daily journey and help me find that good old jolly joy, subscribe and come aboard. Arnold's Christmas, the first half-hour storyline told within the show. We open this episode with everyone enjoying the holiday season around the city as school lets out for the holiday. Helga and Phoebe are talking about the meaning of Christmas and what they love most about it. Helga only shows excitement towards the presents and getting better things before other people, especially the Nancy Spumoni snow boots that are all the rage and shown to be impossible to find, and they're just sold out everywhere. Arnold and Gerald, however, are Christmas shopping as Gerald is buying everyone in his family and friends ties, not putting a lot of thought into the gifts. Arnold tells Gerald about the significance of gift giving and making the gift for the person meaningful and unique to who that person is. So now he must go return the tie he clearly bought for Arnold as well. Back to Helga, who wants to get something special for Arnold, the perfect gift to finally let out her feelings and show Arnold 1, how thoughtful she is, and 2, that she is perfect for him. Now, just before we enter the boarding house, we see Mr. Wynn walking up the stairs to the door as a distant, unrecognizable voice echoes while he looks into the distance before fully walking inside. Clearly, something is on his mind, as it is told to us he isn't too much into the holiday spirit of things this time of year. Hey, I'm right there with you with that. Now drawing names for Secret Santa, Arnold pulls Mr. Wynn and has no idea what to get for him, as there isn't really much to go off of. So in an effort to learn more about him and what the perfect gift would be, Arnold heads to his room to casually speak about it. Here is where we learn about him having a daughter, Mai, as he recounts the story of his life in Vietnam with his family, specifically his daughter. All he wanted in life for her was the best life possible with the best opportunities possible. But his country was in the middle of a war that drew too close to him, and everyone in his area was trying to evacuate. A helicopter that was about to take off only had room for one other person, as a large crowd of people were trying to board. Since this was said to be the final helicopter out of the country, Mr. Wynn's last-ditch effort to give his daughter a better life was to raise her up above the crowd, catching their attention and taking her with them. They utter the name of a city that they are going to for him to find her again. He, however, would not be able to get out of the country for another 20 years.
Free cans of hairspray!
20 years later, he would make his way to the city he was told back then and has lived there now ever since, in an effort to find her. This story, much like sticking with us, the viewers of the episode, sticks with Arnold and his big heart. It's now Christmas Eve and Arnold is determined to find Mai. Gerald tells him how crazy he is trying to pull off something like this, with no proper leads and virtually no time. I think this is why I really love Arnold as a character. When he commits to something, he fully commits, even at the detriment of himself. No time is too much to sacrifice if it means doing the right thing or helping someone in need. Sure, sometimes he is shown to make mistakes, but he's human, and has always been a solid role model cartoon character with good morals. He spent his time calling government information centers in hopes to find the right place, leading him to a government building to find files and records on Mai. But with Christmas tomorrow, the employees at the office are having a Christmas party and are clocked out for the workday. All but one person, spending his Christmas Eve away from his family, stuck overworking. His name is Mr. Bailey, and when asked to help, he quickly dismisses them as he has too much to catch up on before he can leave, telling them that there is no way that he can pull something like that off this fast and find her.
Go, have some eggnog.
No, I don't think I will. I've made my stance pretty clear on eggnog, and my comment section wasn't too happy about that. Anyway, the magic of Christmas intervenes, as Mr. Bailey gets a phone call from his wife. Arnold and Gerald overhear their conversation before leaving and find out that he hasn't had time to purchase some gifts for his family, most likely cutting it close to Christmas because he is an overworker. He does promise his wife that he will get everything done after work before coming home though. So Arnold, being Arnold, proposes a deal between them that Arnold and Gerald would go and take care of all the shopping so he doesn't have to, and in return he helps them find Mai. After some convincing, he agrees to it and hands them a long list of items to purchase. So Arnold and Gerald are on the case to find every item before the day's over. Arnold and Gerald step out of the office and right into a montage of finding every gift, hopping from store to store, waiting in long lines, and getting everything perfectly gift wrapped. Helga, however, isn't having the best of luck finding the perfect gift for Arnold. She at one point runs into Arnold while thinking she had found the perfect gift though. Gerald proceeds to say that a gift like that is nice and flashy, but it lacks that soul and thoughtfulness for the person. I guess Arnold's speech at the start really rubbed off on him. And honestly, Gerald is a really good friend. He's giving up his time to help Arnold do something nice for someone else. The true form of ride or die. As they walk away from the now even more confused on what to get Arnold Helga, she notices they dropped a list, with the remaining item not scratched out on the list being some Nancy Spumoni snow boots. She, and well, I guess everyone else wants. Arnold and Gerald can't find the boots anywhere, and even gets laughed at by store employees for even asking if they had any in stock, which is just so cruel to pretend to walk off and see if they had any only to bring back more employees to have them laugh at his question. Don't you just love the holidays? After every last effort was put into finding the boots, they return to Mr. Bailey only to be let down as the deal is broken based on those boots, even if they got every other item on the list for him. This breaks Arnold's heart as he feels like he failed, not just himself but Mr. Wynn. Gerald consoles him about this, telling Arnold that he is selfless and great for even trying this in the first place. Helga, who has been tailing them ever since running into them, overheard why Arnold had those boots on the list, and is sad that Arnold couldn't do such an incredibly nice thing. True empathy starts setting in for her after seeing and hearing all of this. But what can she do? She can't magically fix this for Arnold, right?
Football Head will be right back.
Hey Arnold! He's back on.
Helga, now in a slump, arrives home to find a house filled with joy. Her mother hands her a present to open as it's really special, and inside were the Nancy Spumoni boots that her and everyone else were after. A moment of joy for herself kicks in, immediately running outside to try them on. But something hits her. Something that she struggles with understanding at first. She deals with a morality choice. To enjoy the boots she's totally entitled to enjoy herself as a gift she's really been wanting, or use the boots in a way that can be the perfect gift for Arnold. Helga heads back to the government building, running into Mr. Bailey as he's locking up the building and leaving. She offers up the boots to him so he can make good on the deal for Arnold and find Mai, but he declines and says it's too late and he's heading home. Then Helga delivers such a heartwarming and thoughtful speech about what Christmas is all about. Her herself finding what makes Christmas, Christmas, and now matching Phoebe's views on Christmas at the start of the episode, and mirroring how Gerald learned from Arnold about the art of giving someone a gift. Honestly, this scene is really powerful. You feel the empathy she feels. You hear it in her voice. It makes me all teary-eyed to see the good in Helga come out, with Mr. Bailey finally pondering on the idea and everything she just said. We now see Arnold at the boarding house, sitting mopey in a chair during the gift exchanges for Secret Santa. Everyone gets through their gifts, but there is no gift for Mr. Wynn. Everyone tries figuring out why, while Arnold sits there as hearing this hurts his soul more and more. Mr. Wynn says it's okay anyway, but isn't being too involved in the gathering to start with. Arnold can't take the guilt he feels anymore by at least telling Mr. Wynn that he was thought of and not forgotten. But when trying to tell him, the doorbell rings and interrupts. As Mr. Wynn ponders into the fireplace, we hear someone enter and speak out to him, just like the voice from earlier. He looks back and sees the now adult Mai standing there right in front of him. They reunite as Arnold wishes him a Merry Christmas. All while Arnold is none the wiser to the selfless act Helga, and to an extent Mr. Bailey, had pulled off by sacrificing his time with his family and Helga's most wanted gift for herself, with the final shot being Helga, alone in the snow outside of the boarding house, whispering Merry Christmas to Arnold. If her speech from earlier or the reuniting of Mr. Wynn and Mai didn't break you, this ending will. Helga went through with the act of kindness and did something without seeking credit for it or thanks. She just wanted to see Arnold happy and to be able to complete his act of kindness. This is why I love the show so much in general. It's inherently good by nature and gives you characters to get behind and feel for. Emotionally rich characters, and some that even have meaner tendencies, like Helga for example, are always shown to be complex, rather than just being that way for the sake of it. We don't just get one-dimensional characters, but a deep look into who they are and maybe why they are like the way they are. It allows the circumstances they face and their masks they put on to others around them to drive a deeper connection from show to viewer. And Hey Arnold never sacrificed what made it special for any other means, and to me is what made it my favorite cartoon of all time. We don't always know what another person is going through in their own life, or the thoughts within their head. To have empathy is one of the most invaluable valuable traits one can have, and I believe is what makes us the most human. Seeing this episode while I was growing up really cemented a lot of beliefs and values I carry with me today, and why I selected it as one of my Christmas videos for this month. Hey Arnold always had these themes throughout its entire run as a show, but with this Christmas episode, they were able to capture it perfectly in more unique ways than other cartoons, Christmas specials or not. The focus not being on Santa or some mythical, whimsical adventure, but instead on the human spirit. Maybe that's what true Christmas spirit is all about.
Find the spirit.
Huh? Okay, I'm definitely hearing something now. Hello? Hello? What the? How did that even get in here? I must be going crazy or something working on all these videos. I need to get out more. Anyway, I would love to know your thoughts on this episode, even Hey Arnold in general. As it's my favorite cartoon of all time, I want to know if it means something to you like it does to me. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more content like this. Follow me on Twitter, or else I'll see you tomorrow with another video for my next day of Fringemas. Check out the playlist to keep up with the month, but until then, later.